It's the GITA Interviews, the premier global IT solution podcast, where we talk to the CEOs and business leaders who are growing their companies through global partnerships. I'm your host, Emery Geosits, the Executive Director of the Global IT Alliance. Hello, and welcome to the GITA podcast. I'm really excited to have my next guest on, primarily because it's always nice when you're interviewing a friend. I've known Hans for several years now, so this should be a great conversation amongst friends, colleagues, and professionals. So joining me from Curaçao is Hans Kruithof. Hans is the CEO of Inova and also works very closely with the other GITA partner, NetPro, from the Caribbean. So Hans, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Emery. Nice to see you. Always good. Yeah.
It's good to see you. I'm not in the studio today. I'm in very cold Ohio today. And would you like to share the temperature where you are?
Yeah, I'm in a freezing part of the southern of the Caribbean. It's 32 degrees only here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, it's Celsius. So
yeah,
you feel pity, right?
That's tough. Thank you for making me feel good this morning. So like I said, it's always great for friends to get together and have these conversations. But I think for our audience, it'd be great to know and understand the early days of Inova, the early days of NetPro, and how you came to the company and how the company became, and your role there.
Okay. Well, let's start here. Actually, my career started already in 1991 after my University of Applied Science in the Netherlands. And I started as a product manager for document management. And actually, that is my specialism at that time. In 95, I followed at that time, my girlfriend, my wife, currently to Curaçao. And Curaçao, for the people who do not know, is a very small island at the southern of the Caribbean. It's a part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Like Aruba, like Sint Maarten and Saba, Station Bonaire. My wife actually was born here. So actually she chose to go back here. And her family lives here and I live here since 95. So, and we started to make a name the first years as IT experts, especially in document management. But then in 1996, the 2nd of February, actually, that's the day that we record here today, is February 2nd.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, exactly 26 years ago. And the company was founded by me and 3 other friends. And we started NetPro actually on the back porch of one of these friends. And the rest actually is history. I really think back with a lot of pleasure on those years, the early years of NetPro. And I'm really proud right now, especially today, of what this small group of friends actually have accomplished all over the 26 years. So, So Inova actually was founded in 2009. And the reason why Inova was founded is that Microsoft actually wanted to have like specialized companies for their enterprise agreements. Enterprise agreements is a licensing agreement for larger companies. At that time, it was called large account reseller. And we joined a company in Trinidad called Infotech. And we created a joint venture and we named it Inova. That was on the 1st of April in 2009. Yeah. Inova Solutions stands out from other companies at that time because our team really relies on 4 core strong values, which are we are local, we are Caribbean originated, we are very dedicated, we have a lot of expertise, and also what's very common in the Caribbean, we have a lot of flexibility. And those are the 4 core values we still stand by.
Well, that's fantastic. And again, Hans, happy anniversary and congratulations to the team down there. I know many of the folks at both NetPro and Inova, and they're both wonderful organizations. So you should be very proud of that. There's a couple of things about being in the industry as long as both of us have. One is it first says we're old, but secondly, that we've had a lot of experience in the industry, right?
I would use the phrase wise, though.
Yeah, I'm careful. Wise and old, right? So we've seen so many changes in technology, and especially I feel like in the past 2 or 3, 4 years, it's really been meteoric, the amount of change. Can you talk a little bit about one of the more significant changes you've seen in the industry?
Well, way back, and really 26 years back, it was really on the rise of the internet, and I think that was by far the most influence technology development in everybody's life right now. Everybody right now is using smartphones and computers like it is nothing. But the internet actually was really the biggest invention of those decades, right? And especially the adoption of the internet technology, because that lead to the concept of the cloud. So in the existence of Inova, moving to the cloud was really one of the biggest changes. Suddenly, companies were able to have meetings like these Teams meetings, or share documents and data anywhere from the world. So the whole concept of how you working from home, working independent from where you are. You can be in the Caribbean or in Dallas or wherever you are, right? And right now, it becomes possible. So also from the licensing standpoint of view, a licensing actually suddenly became a subscription. Mm-hmm. So we're not talking anymore about licensing, but about users optimization. So yeah, the internet was actually the basic and the base of this whole change, but especially the way the people adopted it and formed the concept of the cloud. I think that is the biggest change in my career.
Yeah, you make a great point, especially from the perspective of, we had spent so many years convincing customers to move to the cloud, move their critical operations to the cloud, and all of a sudden a pandemic happens and many of them wish they had done that. Right. So that's a great perspective on it. So, we've been around, as I said. What do you think, or what do you see in particular in your region of the world as the next insight into the industry? What do you see coming down the pike that could be a game changer for our industry?
Well, you see it already coming, right? With the autonomous driving of cars, 3D printing, insurance bots. So you see more automation, and it's all formed by artificial intelligence. So I even think that on the long term, actually, it's happening already today. You will get new concepts like companies as a software. So instead of having people going to the offices, it's more like completely automated. So, but as we have seen in history, we might be very afraid of those changes. But you should not, because these changes may cause a shift in HR and what employees are going to do and where they are needed. But I strongly believe that if we keep ourselves informed, there will be never less work, only different work and more interesting work. So that's a little bit how I see the future.
For sure. That makes a lot of sense. So, I don't want to bring up the negative, but it's a reality of our existence today, and that is the pandemic. All around the world, people are at different stages of the pandemic at this time. So how did the pandemic change your plan strategy, help you serve customers, et cetera? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it had some positive effects. It had some negative effects, and it hit all of us. And here we are in the Caribbean. So the absolute impact that it made on the economies here in the Caribbean is the lack of tourism. Right? Suddenly, there were no tourism coming to our islands, and 80% of some of the islands, 80% of the economy is depending on tourism. So the economic pillars really were washed away. So that led to poverty, that led to unemployment, and so on. But it also changed on a social level and on a company level the way we work together. And for example, for our company itself, we actually kind of benefited from this whole COVID in the beginning, because suddenly there was more demands for software for work from home. So, and we are selling, of course, Microsoft Teams, as you know. And without technology, the shift would not have been possible. So that was the positive side.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, we get through the pandemic, and our next biggest thing, top of all of our customer minds, is the supply chain situation. Yep. Not just, we see it here in the US, talk about it here in the US every day, everything from cars to laptops to washing machines. We see it across the board. So what challenges have you faced? I know that Inova is very focused on software, so maybe a little bit less, but as your overall business, what do you see as how do you best navigate the supply chain situation?
Well, Inova Solutions was not affected too much. I think Nepro more. But of course, software also need their endpoints, like PCs, tablets, and mobile devices. But by creating software and make the software less dependent of those devices, I think we were able to manage it.
That's great. That's great. I know a lot of customers ask about it on a daily basis. So you're one of the newest members to the Global IT Alliance. We're so proud to have you on board and so proud to have you represent that region of the world. How do you see in the Caribbean, what's your view of global business, and how do you see the Alliance working to benefit your customers?
Well, as you know, I like to think big, right? So, and we always had with Inova Solutions the ambition to grow outside our territories and conquer the world, right? And through the Global IT Alliance, we can really go to that directions with help of partners all over the world, right? And there is a group of great GITA partners. I happen to meet some of them already, actually here in Curaçao. That was funny. So, but there's always something new to learn and bigger goals to achieve. So we are really excited to see this as a new way in which we can support our customer base throughout the partnership with GITA.
That's great. That's great. That's right. Our colleague who I just did a podcast with recently, Koos, happened to be down visiting Curaçao. He's from Belgium, and it was great for you guys to meet and send the pictures. So that's what the Alliance is all about, bringing like minds together to service our customers and do it in a consistent fashion. So absolutely, absolutely. So you have a great view now. You know, you mentioned anniversaries of the company, you're building Inova, et cetera. There's got to be something for you that stands out in your entire career as a proud moment. You know, things that you look back on and say, that was really a crowning achievement. Can you share something like that with us?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, I think one of the greatest accomplishments that we had, and me as a person, that through Inova Solutions and the success of Inova Solutions, especially in the Microsoft area, I was invited to become a part of the Partner Advisory Council at corporate level in Microsoft. And I've had a lot of pleasure in doing that. You know, that was for 3 years. And it was very good to see that a company as big as Microsoft was willing to listen to a relatively very small country, especially in a territory like the Caribbean. And don't forget, the Caribbean, all those small islands, is a big territory, scattered like 30, 40 islands, scattered all over a big area, you know, and I'm very grateful to the people at Microsoft and Microsoft Caribbean, especially, that helped Inova Solutions to accomplish this. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Congratulations again. Well, Hans, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to spend time with you. I really appreciate it. That's the GITA podcast from the cold and the warm. Please check out www.gita.com and GITA on LinkedIn for more information. Thanks and have a great day. Thank you for listening to the GITA Interviews. To find out more about the Global IT Alliance, please visit www.gita.com or follow us for more great interviews.